Single prints are like this, where that was the X and Y of the large print. In the X and Y of the large print, when we divided X by Y, it either had to be greater than 30 in value or, well, basically X divided by Y had to be less than 0.5. Okay, this is called a large print. It means these numbers when we divide the second to last tick and the last tick, basically the buy and sell orders. As I told you, now in cases where, if we consider a price box again, cases where this part is between a number from 1 to 9, and in this part as well, it's a number between 1 to 9, the last tick on the seller's side and the last tick on the buyer's side, the last order between 1 to 9 here and 1 to 9 down here. It's called a single print. I'll write this down for you too, single print. The single print is a large print where the top order is between 1 to 9 and the bottom order, or the bottom order is 1 to 9. So if I have a large print at the top, like here, see? Here, this number, which is 24, should be a number between 1 to 9 and
7 powerful volume trading indicators: footprint, volume profile, and fastest gap. Level up your trading.
what do I have at the bottom? Here. If it's here, this number 45 should be a number between 1 to 9. This number is also adjustable. I mean, this indicator has a good feature. You can set it based on the symbol and such. Sometimes you might see that a number between 1 to 9, say if you set it to 9, doesn't work well. So you prefer to lower the number so that the threshold and the accuracy increase. Consequently, here, I have the settings in this indicator. You can set the lower limit to 1 and the upper limit to 9. And you can also change the upper limit, for example, to be between 2 and 5 or 3 and 5. And this single print case is essentially the same as before. You can simply, by checking the box for the daily high and the daily low, easily measure its overall strength at the daily high and low. And this way you can receive better signals and use them. And by combining them with other factors, you can actually get better signals and make better trades. So this is also related to, well, things like large print and single print, which are both very effective methods and can be extremely helpful in a wide variety of different situations, especially when someone needs extra clarity or support. There is also a particular strategy regarding these types of cases called the 00 strategy, which you can actually use at the market's highs and lows, especially when the price is going up. Suppose I draw this once so you can see the price is moving upwards, and here I have a candle where on the seller's side, both of its top two orders have become 0. These two signals can be very helpful, especially in situations where we are at the day's high or at the day's low, meaning in fact the actual high and low of the day. Our own day's high and low can truly be very helpful and can provide a very good, reliable signal for you to use. Continuing with the items in this indicator, there's a part related to the ratio bar, which we can also see, but let me tell you about the spread bar first. On the chart and graph, particularly during times when there is news, let me see if I can find, for example, an instance on the chart to show you. There's a time when you see some candles, their appearance is like this. For example, you see several candles all 00000, meaning it's as if no order existed, no volume occurred, but the price is going up and down. Well, meaning you don't see anything as an order. Now you might see a 1 or 2, but most of it is 0 when the price is going up and down or directly following a trend downwards or upwards. Basically, news candles are like this, which we commonly refer to and know as spread bars, and we can identify them in this indicator. Now, let me take a moment to look at this chart of ours and see if there's any spread bar present. By a spread bar, I mean one of those bars that usually appears when there is some news or an important announcement that affects the market. I want to check carefully to see if any of these spread bars have shown up here or not, so we can examine it together and understand what might have happened during those times. I finally searched through the chart and eventually found it. See, these particular instances, like this one right here, are called spread bars, which actually show you the range, and you can definitely use them. Here's another example where you can clearly see more spread bars. And these are cases where within a specific period of time, without having any orders, the candles have moved and it's showing them to you. This area is a range where there are many spread bars now, and it was definitely during a news event. It's certainly a time that was during a news event. Okay, the next topic we can actually see in this indicator relates to ratio bars and absorptions, which ratio bars can be many things that you can make good use of anyway. At the daily high and low and in corrections, they can issue very good signals for you. Let's see, we'll examine these cases together now. Well, regarding ratio bars are actually candles whose volume compared to their previous candle has a multiplier.
Learn and enter the world of binary option with us. Binary option indicators, powerful strategies, learn, trade, win. Level up your trading.
And they can be, especially at peaks and troughs and in corrections, very good points for entering a trade, along with other confirmations that go with them, of course. For example, now in this candle, if you assume this candle's volume is 1,504 and its previous candle is 423, and actually, if I assume our current candle is X, so its previous candle actually becomes our Y value, and then I'll divide their respective volumes by each other to compare them. Let me erase this part since I drew it incorrectly. This number should actually be a number greater than 3.5. That is the total, the division of these two candles relative to each other must be greater than 3.5. And now, for example, let's perform the calculation right here with a calculator. Let me bring up the calculator. See, if we divide 1,504 by 423, the number became exactly 3.5. Well, 3.55, which is a number greater than 3.5, the number 3.55. I can actually change the settings for this in the indicator, again, depending on the symbols, time frame, depending on the symbols and the actual time you want to trade, meaning in the session. Certainly, when you're in the New York session, volumes are much stronger and much higher than, for example, in the Asia session. Let's look right here. We can see together actually right now. Look, in this area and this range, we're in the London session area. And well, you can see the volumes, at what volume the prices are being traded. But actually, let's get to the beginning of the day. Here's the start of the day and the Asian session. And you see that most volumes are under 1,000 and the volume traded is mostly under 1,000. Not that no volume is traded, but normally and on average, the volume traded in the European session and especially the US session is higher. And you can manually change these coefficients there and examine the cases there. An example that the ratio bar shows is these arrows placed under those candles, and it actually informs you that this candle has significantly more volume compared to its previous candle. And finally, to gather some potential to continue its trend, the market or asset may need to pause or consolidate for a bit. Well, depending on exactly where this is happening, you can make different decisions about it, which I will definitely explain to you in the absorption strategy. Be sure to follow me so you'll be notified when I upload the relevant video and can use it. Now, how do these absorptions actually happen? See, in absorption, we have tick tolerance and we have bar count. Tick tolerance is the distance that each candle can move up or down relative to its previous candle. Bar count is the number of candles that are actually examined in that absorption area. And the absorption volume lower limit is the minimum volume that at least one of those candles in that absorption must have Let me draw this visually for you just to clarify. Let me show you here. Well, look here when I say what the bar count should be, which is basically and on average normally set to 4, it means that 4 candles must each have this characteristic happen to them. The next option is to determine what the tick tolerance should be. So, for example, if I set this to 3 and let's say this is a range of 8, imagine the next candle can go at most 3 ticks higher than this price or lower than this, 2, 3, or lower than this, meaning this candle can move at most 3 ticks higher or 3 ticks lower than this price. If it goes beyond that, the area will no longer be considered an absorption zone. Now, so that we can see this a little more clearly, let's take a closer look at these 4 candles in front of us. Let's say this one here is our very first candle, the starting point for what we're looking at. Right next to it, we have our second candle, which follows immediately after the first. Then moving along, this would be our third candle in the sequence. And finally, we come to our fourth candle, which completes the set we're examining. And now let's assume that this is also our next candle. So you see the distance of each candle relative to the previous one can be at most 3 ticks. Now in the drawing, I might not have drawn it very accurately, but just imagine that it's no more than 3 ticks apart. For instance, this one is about 1 tick away from that one. This particular version has a triple space. Here there's a single space, and here as well there's a single space. Here too, it's with a triple space and not more than that. Now, another one of the conditions is this nucleus, space is volume. This part needs to be checked as well. In addition to the previous rules, I have another condition as well, which is specifically a volume condition. This requires that the total combined volume of these 4 candles must be greater than a certain specified amount. Right now, for this demonstration, I've set the volume threshold at 900, which means the total volume of these 4 candles must be more than 900. So looking back at the example we had, let me find it. Where was it? Right here and here, we can see that 2 separate absorptions have occurred in this sequence. One of them is in this area. Let me draw this again so you can see. One of them is in this area. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, and then the next 4 candles. So actually this absorption is inside another absorption. Now looking at the volumes, as you can see, they are 600, 900, 400, and 252. So their total volume is definitely more than 900. The same goes for the next one and the tick volume they had as well. As you can see here, there was a gap of 2 ticks. Here, the next one is 1 tick, here 1 tick, and here 2 ticks as well. And the tick volume hasn't been more than 3 ticks. As a result, this area is considered as absorption, and you could have used it whenever needed. I can also show you another example of absorption, so we can analyze another sample as well. We could have used it whenever it was needed. If we were there, absorption volume hit 1,297 over 4 ticks. In some cases, it happens very rarely. Here we have it. Here, the total volume was 2.3, meaning 2,300 blooms. This happened in this event. Again, as we look at it, there are 1,297, and the volume was more than a certain amount. There are 4 candles, and the tick differences are now 1 tick, 1 tick, 1 tick, and more than 1 tick up to. There hasn't been any difference, but this area has become our absorption zone. Now, look, this absorption zone, why has it actually kept the price in this area, holding it here until finally it came here? If I draw a line here, this is where it faked out, and after a while, the price dropped completely. Okay, let's go over such cases together as well. In addition to our previous discussions, we have also taken the time to thoroughly review several similar cases together in great detail. As for the specific trading signals and the various technical points visible on the 4-hour chart, I have made sure to cover every single one of them extensively for you to ensure you have a complete understanding. That's it. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments and I will definitely answer you. I hope you can make good use of this indicator and the footprint. I sincerely wish you many successful trades and a significant amount of profit. I hope you have a truly wonderful day ahead of you, and I will say goodbye for now.